Hey everybody, so today we thought we would do a 90s starter pack video. Right now in the background we're listening to Alice in Chains. This isn't technically a part of our starter pack, but perfect 90s album. We're actually going to start out with, we included a bunch of different genres, or we tried to, not to just do like just grunge or just alternative. So we're starting out with metal, and this one is essential to any metal lover's collection, but especially 90s. It's Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar. This is the original press. It was already mentioned in one of my other videos, but it's the gatefold. This is one of his best albums by far. My personal, my favorite Marilyn Manson song of all time is on this album. The Reflecting God. I think that's just an amazing song, but I also really like Dried Up, Tied Up, and Dead to the World.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's not my favorite Marilyn Manson album. I think my favorite is probably Mechanical Animals, but this is definitely my second favorite. I think my favorite song from here and my favorite Marilyn Manson song of all time is Tourniquet.
Yeah, that's a great track.
And just to mention this, the 90s is our favorite music decade ever.
By far. I think it was the highlight for, not even just music, like fashion and just the political movements that were going on, but especially music, all the different genres. I think we're at an all-time high.
Well, they got to live 5 and 4 years of it, so that kind of sucks, but...
Yeah. I really do wish, though, that, like, being in my 20s right now, I wish I was in my 20s experiencing the 90s.
Me too.
Yeah, so...
A lot of people don't like the fact that the 90s is some people's favorite decade, but
yeah.
Oh well.
It's definitely mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my metal pick, I picked Megadeth Rust in Peace, and it feels kind of weird that this is a 90s album.
Yeah.
Just everything about it is 80s thrash metal, but it was released in 1990, so... I
feel like metal in general for the 90s, I feel like it was just looked over.
Yeah.
I feel like when people think of metal, they think of 80s, and then they don't really think about what happened between the 90s and now. But a lot of great metal albums came out in the 90s. A lot of great metal bands formed in the 90s.
Even, this is a sin too, but even what Metallica was doing.
Yeah.
I love Load and Reload. I grew up with those albums. I love them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Megadeth Rust in Peace. What do you think your favorite song is off here?
Honestly, I hate to be that person, but probably Take No Prisoners, honestly.
Yeah.
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 Although I really like Tornado of Souls.
Those are my two favorites.
Really? So we have the same favorites.
Yeah.
That happens so often, but yeah. I love that cover too. It's like a classic Megadeth cover.
Yeah.
It just defines them.
Yep.
Cool. So next up in our genres, we didn't specify, but we wanted to include a variety. We did rap, and there's so 90s hip hop, 90s rap was the best decade for rap music.
Agreed.
There's just so many artists, but we tried to narrow it down a little bit. I went with Ice Cube's Death Certificate. That's the coolest cover. It's got Uncle Sam on it. Actually, last year, I just really, both of us just really got into 90s rap. Big time, just all about it. The best song on this record, I think, for both of us has got to be No Vaseline.
Yeah.
I think it's is it the best rap song of all time?
Either that or It Was a Good Day.
Yeah, that's true.
Ice Cube's our favorite rapper.
Yeah, for sure. Classic Ice Cube album, classic 90s hip hop album. Can't deny it.
I picked another classic, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. This is my favorite rap album of all time. Every song is perfect.
Yep.
That album cover too, it's so weird.
Yeah, I love how in the 90s a lot of people went for the cartoony covers. Same thing with Green Day's Dookie, the little dialogue and stuff on it. I think it's really funny and cute.
Favorite track?
Again, I hate to be that person, but Murder Was the Case and probably G's and the Hustlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is probably Lodi Dodi.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. This is a funny album too.
Yeah. You
Super
gotta love
dope.
that. Yeah, and I mean, like, other bands, or other, not bands, but artists, hip-hop artists that we really admire. I mean, obviously Tupac and Biggie, but NWA, is Eazy-E, everything like that.
Yep.
So next we kind of went, we wanted to include pop because, I mean, obviously pop was such a big thing in every decade, but it was huge in the 90s. And technically speaking, this next artist probably doesn't identify as pop, but because like all their songs were on the radio and still are on the radio, and I mean, I don't really consider them alternative, but I don't really consider them pop. I just went with them because they have so many hits. This is Third Eye Blind's record, self-titled. It's shiny because I still have the sleeve on it. Or not the sleeve, but it's the music on vinyl pressing, and I like to keep it in that unless I'm playing it. But wow, I mean, this album, I mean, I kind of grew up on this album, listening to it. It reminds me of my dad, so it's got like sentimental reasons. But I mean, the tracks on this, you got Losing a Whole Year, Narcolepsy, Semi-Charmed Live, Jumper, Graduate, How's It Gonna Be, Thanks a Lot.
God, that.
I know.
That's like...
I mean, that's just like the first LP in this too. And the next one, Burning Man, Good For You, London, I Want You, Background, Motorcycle Drive-By, and God of Wine, all on this record. God, it's really hard for me to choose a favorite.
Yeah. I actually didn't get into them until I met you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many to choose. I mean, I would probably have to say Narcolepsy or Motorcycle Drive-By. What about you?
Losing a Whole Year.
Another classic. Yeah. So this is essential to anybody's 90s collection.
Yeah. That's
Definitely.
a 90s gem for sure. And this is one of my favorite 90s bands, Garbage. They're self-titled. It took me so long to get this, and you got it for me.
Yeah.
I wanted it for so long. It's actually a triple gatefold.
I love that art.
Yeah. It's the 20th anniversary press, and it's actually on. It's like hot pink.
It looks like, I don't know. It looks more like candy red to me, but
yeah,
it's advertised as pink, but it looks pinkish.
Yeah, this album is so good though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about 90s pop songs. Like, they were poppy, but they still had like a tinge of depression.
Yeah, there were still like alternative influences on the pop songs, and that's why I really love them.
I think my favorite song on here is A Stroke of Luck, which isn't really that popular, but it's such a dark song. And
yeah.
What about you?
I'm not heavily into Garbage. I mean, I'll listen to them if they're like, being played. I definitely think, they deserve the recognition they get. But for me, like, Only Happy When It Rains, I know that's the most popular off that album, but that's probably my favorite too. Yeah. I love the pink too.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. I forgot to mention, but like, obviously not all of these are original pressings. A lot of them are re-releases, reissues. I think the only original pressing I brought up so far, well, obviously the one we're listening to now, Alice in Chains is original. This Marilyn Manson is original. Everything else I've brought so far is re-release.
Yeah.
But if it's original, we'll say so. But
the 90s albums on vinyl are so expensive.
It's the hardest decade to find music from.
I think so. Garbage actually has a second album, version 2.0, that I really want, but it's really expensive to get the original press.
Yeah.
And I think they're repressing it this year, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I don't know why. A part of me thinks it's because of the shift in like the popularity of cassettes.
I mean, they didn't.
CDs.
Yeah, pressing of vinyl just went away a little bit.
I mean, bands didn't. I mean, they did, but it wasn't popular by any means in the 90s.
It was going away.
So like, I mean,
CDs, yeah.
You think of like or not necessarily easy, but it's easier to get albums from the 70s or the 80s or I don't know,
because they
10
made
years
millions
ago.
of them.
Yeah, right. But from the 90s, stuff is hard to come by,
Yep.
which is a shame because it's our favorite decade. But so the last albums that we have are on more of the rock, alternative, grunge trend. And it can't be a 90s starter pack video without mentioning Nirvana, obviously. I went with In Utero. I obviously love all their albums. I'm a huge Nirvana fan. But this album, I don't know. I love the artwork. I love the songs. I love everything about this. There's so many great ones on this. The hit from this one is Heart-Shaped Box and Rape Me. But I also really like Penny Royalty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a gem right there. And then Scentless Apprentice is such a great song too.
That drum part in there.
Yeah.
Classic.
What do you think? Is
That
your
album
favorite
cover
song?
is so awesome.
It's, yeah, you can't deny. I've always wanted, like, I think it would be awesome to have a tattoo of that.
Yeah.
But
I think my favorite song is Rape Me,
yeah,
and then All Apologies.
those are like essential Nirvana songs.
Yeah.
And like obviously like nobody here's a first time listener for Nirvana, but if I came across somebody that was a first time listener, I would recommend this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would recommend Nevermind. I love Nevermind, but everybody's heard every single song off Nevermind.
Yeah. For I guess my grunge one.
Yeah.
I picked maybe my favorite grunge artist, Alice in Chains.
Mhm. I
Dirt.
love that album. Oh my gosh.
God, it's perfect. This is the music on vinyl press. Soundgarden used to be my favorite grunge band, but I got really into Alice in Chains. And my favorite song on here and my favorite Alice in Chains song is Angry Chair.
My favorite Alice in Chains song is on that too, but it's not Angry Chair. Angry Chair is one of my favorites, but Wood is like the best Alice in Chains song in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's also got, their popular song Rooster. Everybody, that's like the most popular Alice in Chains song, I think.
Angry Chair is just so evil.
Yeah.
I read an interview with the guitarist from Typo Negative, and he was talking about how Lane Staley, the Angry Chair, he used to sit in a chair and shoot up.
Oh yeah, I've heard
And
that.
he'd throw the needles into the ground, and it was just a chair surrounded by dirty needles.
That's so gross.
And that's what the Angry Chair is. So
Yeah.
that's really, really dark.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of grunge though, everybody thinks of Nirvana, but Alice in Chains, underrated,
Yeah.
I would have to say.
Yeah.
So, would you say, no, this is okay, it's kind of like spun off from grunge, maybe? Grunge-ish. I don't even have anything to really say about this album. I just don't, because it's incredible. It's Rage Against the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is there to say besides this is like a classic and essential, and everybody who likes the 90s needs this album.
I mean, it's hard for a band to start out with their best album,
Right.
which is what they did here.
That's what I just can't, like, how is this a debut?
I know.
How do bands do that? This was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And we recently watched Rage Against the Machine, like, first live appearance, and it looked like it was at a college campus, and they were playing songs from this record. And,
Yeah.
like, people, it's crazy looking back. People were just walking by going to class, and like, I don't know.
What they were playing "Killing in the Name of" it didn't
Yeah.
even have lyrics yet.
Yeah, they played it like all instrumental. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. My favorite song off this is probably Bomb Track or Killing in the Name.
My favorite is "Know Your Enemy,"
Yeah.
just because of that riff.
Oh yeah. I love that riff too. Also, like, this band, like, you can tell that they love the bass guitar.
Yeah.
Any bass player, like,
Bass.
this is a bass central
Bass
album.
is an underrated instrument.
Yeah.
A lot of people shit on it, but if a band has a lot of bass, I will probably like it more. Like Megadeth
Right.
really appreciates bass, especially in those earlier albums.
Rage, they love bass, and you can hear it in every single one of their songs.
Green Day is another bass band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Black Sabbath.
it's just I never get sick of this album. You could put it on any time of the day, and I could listen to it beginning to end.
And you can tell that they're angry.
Oh yeah.
They're one of the realest bands.
When you want to listen to an angry band, somebody that's just raw and real, this is the band. This is it.
They're one of the realest.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words because I love this album so much.
Okay, I picked Red Hot Chili Peppers' Californication. I obviously love Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but personally I like this one better. Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
On a personally, my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers is Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Yeah.
But obviously I love Californication.
I don't know why, I just like this one better.
Yeah.
I guess because
it
loses some of that funk and I feel like it focuses more on the songs.
Yeah. See, I like the funkiness, but that's just my preference.
Yeah. I think my favorite song from this is This Velvet Glove.
Really?
Parallel Universe.
That's hard for me too. I'm gonna have to go with. Okay, I hate to be stereotypical again, but Scar Tissue. That used to be. It used to be my favorite song of all time when I was like 7 years old, and I don't know, that song. It's always stuck with me. The lyrics, I just feel like it's such an interesting and I don't know, eccentric song.
It's like a pop song, but it's kind of depressing too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication.
Good choice. So another alternative band. It's kind of hard to talk about the 90s without talking about them. This is clearly not a first press because those are pretty expensive. But had to go with Weezer's Blue album. It's just, wow, that's really shiny. But it's just a classic alternative, kind of poppy, but I don't know. It's just like a really laid back alternative band. Mm-hmm. I've actually seen them a few times. And they're still just as laid back as they were in the 90s. Rivers, he's just like on stage. You expect, I don't know, some Weezer songs are really, they have a lot of energy, and he's just like standing there like with his guitar. But this one's obviously got some of their best songs, like My Name is Jonas, Buddy Holly, Sweater Song. My favorite is probably In the Garage, honestly. I love that song.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't heard every song from this album.
Okay.
I definitely remember My Name is Jonas from Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Obviously Say It Ain't So's on here too. I don't know if I said that or not.
That's my favorite from this one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of hits, so it's essential. It's like it's kind of like a Weezer starter pack too. You gotta kind of start from the beginning.
I love that album cover too. It's just simple.
I have the green one as well, but I feel like it doesn't have as many. It doesn't have as many hits. It's got hits on it, obviously, but this one is probably the best Weezer album from the 90s. So.
All right. My next one is Jane's Addiction, Ritual, Dalo, Habitual. This is actually a first press promo stamp.
Which is wild.
I kind of compare them to Red Hot Chili Peppers a little bit, but less funkier, less funk.
They have a lot of acoustic influence, I feel like.
I don't know if this is their best album because it doesn't have Jane Says or Mountain Song. That's on their next one. But this is still a great one.
Yeah.
It's got Stop, Been Caught Stealing. You know, it's a great one. Been Caught Stealing is my favorite.
Yeah. I also, I don't know much about this album, but I've listened to it a time or two, but I would have to probably go with Been Caught Stealing as well.
Yeah, I don't know much about this band, to be honest.
They're probably in the same vein of, pop-ish, I would say, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still a great album.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, I'm a huge Green Day fan. And it wouldn't be a 90s starter pack video without mentioning Green Day. This is not an original press, as I've said, but this is a reissue, and it is a beautiful reissue. I'm talking about Nimrod. an underrated Green Day album, in my opinion. It's got all the lyrics on the inside.
That gatefold is so cool.
I know. I absolutely love it. I love how the lyrics, like, some of them are, like, whited out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the track list on this is unreal.
That's such a long album, too.
Yeah.
It's got so many songs on it.
It's really long. But let's see. They got all their faces and stuff on the back. I want to show the vinyl because I was telling, or we were talking about earlier, it reminds me of egg drop soup. Because it's yellow, but it's like marbly, but it's like translucent. I want to show you guys on the second side. It's got, one side is playable. So cool. One side is playable. But then on the other side, and I hope the lighting is able to pick it up, it's oh, there we go. Nice. It's etched. The Green Day logo from this era. I think that's so cool. I love it when bands choose to etch one side. This has some incredible Green Day song on it.
Yes.
I mean, you got Nice Guys Finished Last, Hitchin' a Ride, Scattered, Worry Rock, Reject, Take Back, King for a Day, Good Riddance. I mean, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, this is gonna be really hard for me to pin down my favorite. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Scattered because I've seen that live, or I've seen it live twice, and it's just got sentimental value. A lot of acoustic influence on this record. I think you can hear a lot of. This is kind of like the first time that Green Day is heavily into the acoustic guitar, and then you hear it again during Warning.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it when they do songs like that, or when they do like ballads, or like simple, sweet songs. So I have to go with Scattered.
A lot of people think that's Green Day's last best album.
I don't associate with those people. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but Green Day doesn't have a bad album to me, but I'm very biased, and I know that, so.
That's definitely my top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underrated Green Day album, but essential for a 90s starter pack.
Yep. Okay, for my next one, I was going to show this. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream. Everybody knows this album. I gotta give my man some credit, though. I gotta give him some credit. I gotta shout him out. Danzig. I think it's his first 90s album.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Danzig 2, Lucifuge. My favorite Danzig album.
Lucifuge?
No. Lucifuge. That album cover, though.
It reminds me of Queen.
Queen?
A little bit. Or, like, you know how, I don't know, it reminds me of Queen, but it also reminds me of With the Beatles. Just because, like, faces that have shadows on them remind me of those album covers.
I think it's supposed to be a take on the first Doors album.
Ah. That reminds me of that, too. But I didn't even think about that right now.
Because Danzig's kind of like the evil Jim Morrison or evil Elvis.
Okay.
Look at that.
He's so manly. Yeah, he's manly.
He's the man. Obviously known for the Misfits and less known for Sam Hain. And most known for his solo thing, Danzig.
You think he's more known for Danzig than the Misfits?
I think so.
Wow.
That's up for debate, though. You guys can let us know in the comments.
So what do you think's your favorite track?
This whole album is so good. It's more bluesy than a lot of his other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Devil's Plaything.
Let me see. I mean, that's probably mine too, because I don't know too much. Oh yeah, I do. I'm gonna go with Devil's Plaything as well, though. Mm-hmm. That's a really great one.
No slight to this one.
No, not at all.
I gotta mention Danzig.
So all these albums, obviously, if you're getting into 90s music, or you love 90s music and you haven't heard of any of these, highly suggest every single one of these albums mentioned. Some of them we couldn't include in this just because we don't own them. Like we mentioned, some 90s albums are really hard to come by. They're just really expensive on Discogs, or they need to get reissued and they haven't, or whatever reason. But we absolutely adore the 90s as a whole. Wish we could go back in time. Do you have anything to say?
Speaking of reissues, whoever's managing Typo Negative's discography, you need a re-release roll coming down. Please.
Was that obviously was from the 90s?
99?
Yeah.
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 It's been released once in that box set, which you
is absurd.
fucking have to get a loan to get.
Yeah. But
Please
anyway,
reissue it.
you guys should let us know what your essential 90s albums are. I'm really curious what 90s albums you guys hold near and dear to your heart. These are all amazing and incredible. Can listen to over and over again. So yeah, let us know what you guys think.
You guys should leave us like a top 3.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Let us know. Yeah,
we haven't heard of any of them.
Yeah, you should leave us your top 3 90s albums in the comments.
Yeah.
And if they're similar to ours, great. And if not, we'll give it a listen and let you guys know. All right. Well, thanks for sticking through this long video, and we'll see you guys next time.